Alright everyone, welcome back. Game number 2 here between Fnatic Sen and OGS MC. This time we are on Backwater Gulch, and yes, this is game number 2 in a best of 5 series. Right now Fnatic Sen is down 0-1 to MC. MC just with some very nice Phoenix Void Ray harass opening up and some good strong pushes and harassment was able to prevail last game. And one big thing that unfortunately didn't work out for Sen is he tried the Baneling dropping, landing some Fungal Growths, attempted at least to land some Fungal Growths, which would have made his Baneling dropping effective. However, he got feedbacked to the face really bad. Those infestors just did absolutely nothing, and as a result, the Baneling dropping wasn't, again, nearly as effective. So yeah, there you go. Very unfortunate for Sen, but hopefully he can make a comeback this game. Would be looking for an exciting series, most definitely. MC coming off with not a Forge Fast Expand, and as mentioned prior, last map, it's something you see a lot on that particular map, but I do not see a lot of Forge Fast Expands on this map. It's very difficult to kind of protect these two areas with that Fast Expand wall off. You just have to spread yourself a little too thin, and it becomes a little too dangerous because you won't be really strongly defended in either area, and it could be pretty easy for a Roach Speedling push to just tear right through it. So we can see actually MC did manage to scout out Sen right away, so he knows precisely where he is and what he is doing. We'll be trying to harass, and you can see actually moving perpendicular to that drone. He was trying to delay the dropping of that spawning pool, and he also threatened the pylon drop at the expansion. So it looked like Sen actually may have been attempting to move on down, but realizing the probe was ahead of him and would have been able to delay that expansion, decided to just go with that pool instead. And here goes that extractor, and again, that's just one of those examples of precisely what you need to do. I know I do a lot of strategy videos. I do about three a week, one for each of the races, and we look at build orders and stuff. But you know, this is just like, especially Zerg, it really depends on what your opponent's doing, and you know what you have to deal with. It is going to decide how you should be playing and what your build should look like. So yeah, as mentioned, yeah, that's that. All right, back over here, we can see Gateway is up. Cybernex core coming on through. Still a bunch of harass going down over here. MC doing a really good job of delaying this expansion for Sen, and I thought, what is that little Lyote? Is that what he's called? A Lyote? That's cool. So the drone should be able to get it down, but no, because he was dealing with the harassment, he decided to come out with that queen and drone up instead, so he will have to actually wait till those Zerglings pop, most likely, to be able to drop this expansion. That's pretty frustrating in all honesty, but it tends to happen a lot, especially if the Protoss player is, you know, solid enough to be able to do that type of harass and not slip up in their macro back home. So we can see a Zealot coming through right now, and that will be, of course, rallied to that little bit of space in between the Gateway and that Cybernex core. Warp Gate research starting right away, and there is another pylon as well. So MC, clearly a very, very solid player. Now, what will he be doing? Really no way for me to figure that out right now. I like to see... okay, I thought one Zergling was about to get in. I really like to see Sentry Heavy 3-gate expands. I'm not sure that he'll be doing that though, but he does have this Stalker coming out. The Sentry is immediately after, so it's still certainly possible. And I think that's probably, you know, a favorable build of mine. Besides that Forge Fast Expand, I think the 3-gate expand is one of my other kind of go-to favorites as Protoss versus Zerg. And we can actually see MC dropping down that pylon, and he could very well even be going for a 1-gate expand. That's much riskier, though, and certainly prone to any type of aggression that Sen may or may not come out with. We do have a second queen out right now. We'll be moving on down. Let's see if he drops that creep tumor. There we go. And then we'll be moving right on down to that expansion now. Here we go with the the Stalker harassment. There's not a Zealot here, but look at this, outranging that queen. He is able to kill that, unfortunately, unless we get some Zerglings out here. We do have 6 coming on through. Looks like Sen should be okay. The queen shouldn't be losing the queen with those 6 Zerglings. So there we go, 6 Zerglings will be chasing down that Stalker right now, and we do have that expansion out. Wow, very interesting they decide to do that 1-gate expand. I said it's interesting because Sen didn't go for anything like a 15 hatch. He didn't go for like a crazy fast expansion. So the threat of aggression is most certainly real. And yeah, that's pretty interesting. He will be going Sentry Heavy though, as is to be expected, and that will certainly help him defend himself quite a bit. And we can see right now trying to formulate at least a semblance of a wall. There we go, 2 gateways here. So he really just has to protect this corner over here because the sentry range will take out any Zerglings that try to harass any of these buildings. So as you can see, the Zealot and those sentries are enough to shoo back this small amount of Zerglings right now. Knowing what's going on, Actually, you can take a look there. We did just see Sen drone up very hard. He decided not to go out with that aggressive Zergling push and just sticking with those drones. You know, you could try to push out with Zerglings and do a bit of damage, but as mentioned, these sentries dropping those force fields will make things quite difficult for you. Now, we do have a Stargate coming through as well, so we have a 3-gate expand with a Stargate as well, and it looks like he will be opening up with a Void Ray play. That is what he did last game, and it proved to be quite effective. Very nice to see here Sen spotting out the front of MC's base to try to spot if any sort of ground push does come, and he can also use this Zergling to sneak on in for a little bit of secondary scouting, see if he can check any additional gateways, any possible tech that may be dropped, anything like that. Just as mentioned, Zergling moving on in, scouting that warp gate timing and realizing that did just pop at about 7:30 right now, and here comes that first Void Ray being chrono boosted out, and oh man, expanding at the high yield expansion, super risky, but certainly can be a huge payoff if it ends up surviving. If you can defend it, then you're going to be in a very good spot. My major concern right now is Void Ray harass from basically back here, because he's not likely to have much more than queens early on. He could drop a couple spores though, and that would help quite a bit, so I'm guessing that that's what he will likely do once he spots his Void Rays out. And here come the Zerglings moving on in, trying to just do a little bit of harassing, and again trying to get some scouting out. That one Void Ray, here comes a second and third. MC opening up very Void Ray heavy. The Zerglings trying to do a little bit of damage to that pylon, but the warping in sentry is enough of a threat to push them back. But right now, again, Sen does have the vision right now. He's got the center map control. I don't know how much longer that's going to last once these Void Rays do decide to push out. And here comes a third, and that will be followed up by Phoenix. Now we do have a Roach Warren just about finished. Hydra Den coming on through as well. Couple of additional extractors being dropped over here. And again, this expansion almost done. We do have a Queen working its way on over there as well. No layer yet. Oh, never mind. Yes, we do have a layer. Obviously, Force. I saw a Hydra Den. Clearly, there's a layer. Sometimes I just say things. We've got a couple of Void Rays moving down. There's the third one. The Phoenix will be following suit just in one moment right now, and I will be interested. Yes, there will be another Phoenix coming through. Now, the Spore Crawler doing what he can for damage. Couple queens, though. This should be enough to push him back. We do have that third Void Ray, though, and now things are going to be getting a little bit hairy for Sen. He does have these 5 Hydras coming on through. We can see Robotics coming out, and I actually will be expecting a Colossus transition to deal with what is likely to be Hydras to be produced. But MC getting pushed back right now. That one Void Ray dangerously close to get and taking out, and making sure that he doesn't lose it, lifting off that Queen that was in pursuit. But here come the Hydras right now. Let's see if they can sneak on up and do any damage. No, not fast enough off creep. Actually, they're able to get up within range of that Void Ray. Void Ray does want to push back. There we go. And still, MC didn't really do that much damage there. If we take a look, Fnatic Sen is a little bit behind, but not by much. It's really early in the game, and there hasn't really been that many large engagements. But here's the big thing right now. Phoenix is moving forward and scouting out this expansion. Now MC fully aware, and look at that, right as expected, we will be seeing MC make that transition into Colossus. And the reason I expected that, and the reason it's a move that MC would make, is simply because, you know, you open up with this heavy air harass, and a lot of times the response is going to be Hydras. Well, Hydras being a light unit get absolutely shredded by Colossus, so this is a proper transition. Last game, instead of going for those Colossus, we saw he went for those Charge Zealots and the Psionic Storm. That's another proper response. But mixing it up, since this is game number 2, maybe he just doesn't want Sen to know precisely what he's doing based off of what ended up happening last game. Now we can see Sen hasn't really scouted out much in quite a while right now, and he doesn't really have that option. He can't send any Overlords just because of these Phoenixes dancing around the map. I don't think we will be seeing MC take this out anytime soon. Probably going to be waiting until he gets a few Colossus out, and then, you know, a larger ground force as well. So right now, MC should just be macroing up. We can see the ranged thermal lance coming up right now for those Colossus, getting in a few more gateways, transferring those, of course, into warp gates, and we'll just be churning out those Colossus. We've got the level 1 weapons upgrade coming through here as well. So right now, Sen is comfortable, at least for a few minutes. MC will be making a big, strong push on that high yield, make no doubt about it, but it will just be a little while before that happens. And again, this is why, unfortunately, when Phoenix are in play, you really can't do much with your Overlords, especially in terms of scouting. Maybe he could try to drop a changeling near his main and then just walk that on over to MC. Maybe MC would let that sneak through, although that seems highly doubtful. Zerglings, being so cheap, are going to be spread across the map to try to just get vision of what's going on, because again, as mentioned, Sen really has no other opportunity to do that right now besides possibly spreading that creep. Now we do have, let's see, 1 Colossus in play, 2nd Colossus coming through. That Thermal Lance is almost done, and actually looks like MC is getting ready for a push sometime relatively soon, and these Hydras do need to be very, very careful, especially once those Colossus do join the bulk of the army, again, because those Hydras and those Zerglings will get absolutely shredded shredded. I am concerned right now, and I do have to be honest right now. I am a little bit concerned for Sen because we do have a very, very sentry-heavy force, and with those Colossus, he's going to stop those Zerglings from doing much damage. We do have a lot of Roaches coming out, tons of Banelings as well, centrifugal hooks, and yes, it looks like some more Baneling dropping. Hopefully this time it'll prove to be a little more effective. Sen wasn't able to do this to the efficiency that it would have liked last game, but this game I think he's got a better opportunity because there are not High Templar in play right now, and dropping those Banelings on this Colossus actually is very, very effective. So I'm actually feeling a little bit better right now in terms of where Sen is in this game, in terms of his position and his stance in this game. We do have another expansion coming out right now, and here comes a little bit of a push right now. MC, if doing nothing else but testing the waters, but here we go, the Baneling drop. There are the force fields as expected, but the Banelings dropping right on the bulk of the army, doing tremendous amounts of damage to those Stalkers. There's still quite a few units here for Sen. Hopefully he gets up within range of those Colossus to snipe those down, otherwise they will be tearing through his army. We do have some more Banelings coming through right now in those Overlords, and he should be target firing down those Colossus. That is pretty much the biggest threat right now, and there we go, dropping right on the bulk of the Gateway army. However, there are still a lot of Colossus alive, a few Void Rays, as well as a lot of Stalkers. So Sen on his back foot right now. He did do a lot of damage there, but he's going to need to do much, much more. Pushing forward with these Roaches, trying to get us around. He's actually able to overcome those Stalkers. Those Void Rays are a little bit of a threat, though. We have the Queen pushing forward to try to help deal with that. And there we go, Roaches sniping down one Colossus, two Colossus, gets taken out. Will he get the third? I don't know. Very close to losing it. No, the Colossus gets dropped. Very nice there by Sen, pushing forward with a lot of Queens here as well. He's got 7 Hydras. That Spire is almost finished. We'll be using that Spire for Corruptors to deal with those Void Rays, plus those Colossus, and these Queens being heroes in this battle. Roaches and Hydras coming into the mix as well. A very nice transfuse, and MC is getting pushed back right now, losing almost all of his forces. The Colossus on the high ground doing a lot of damage to those Hydras, and the Queens are forced to push back right now. A couple of Warp-ins of Zealots here, where we're going to see some reinforcements here from Sen. That is exactly what we need. A couple Hydras will help a bit. He needs to get up close to that Colossus. That Colossus is such a threat, sitting already with those 10 kills. Another Colossus joining the mix as well. We've got a ton more Banelings though, and we might be seeing Sen actually go for some more dropping. Then a big unfortunate part about that drop is as much damage as it did when he dropped on the head of all of MC's forces, he lost a lot of Overlords as well, and I'm pretty certain that we saw a supply block in there because of that. Now we've got a couple of Phoenixes. Looks like those Void Rays aren't in play anymore, but this is a big strong push. He won't be dropping those Banelings, just will be rolling them forward. Speedlings leading the way and trying to push back this Protoss army. Those force fields preventing that and delaying that push though, so Sen will be sitting back, coming out with some more forces. He's got some Roaches coming through. Unfortunately, no Burrow. Those Bird Roaches could be a little effective, although we do see this Observer here, so I guess that isn't necessarily the case anymore. Now, once MC pushes up here, I would be concerned about a push from the back and the front with all of these Zerg units. However, I'm a little bit concerned right now for Sen, given the fact that this large force, plus those sentries that are available from those force fields available from those sentries, could really hinder any push that Sen could do. But here we go. Sen will be trying right now. He does have a few Banelings loaded up in those Overlords, and he's getting ready for this push. Needs to be careful about those force fields, getting as close as possible to those Colossus and doing what he can to snipe them down. The Overlords moving forward to try to drop those Banelings. There's a lot of Roaches and Hydras, and they tore through pretty much all of the ground army. There's just those Colossus left and one Phoenix and only a few Colossus left. They're able to do a lot of damage right now. Those Roaches and Hydras do need to move forward and try to snipe them down. We only have one Overlord with Banelings left right now. Zerglings, not the best unit, but if they can overwhelm them, swarm around those Colossus, and MC calling the good game. This game, MC went for a 1 gate into expand, then dropped 2 gateways and a Stargate. Scouting out that quick expand, we did see Sen respond by dropping a high yield expansion. Started out with some heavy Void Ray play, however, once the Hydras came into play, Sen was able to push that back. And was able to protect his high yield from taking any damage, and that was clearly a big boon to his economy. Our first and last large engagement came around 1430. It was a constant tug of war, back and forth struggle, with eventually Sen prevailing. I'm going to say largely due to the fact that he was able to maintain this high yield expansion and just continuously throw units at MC's large force. So yes, MC forced to call the GG. Now it is tied up 1-1 in this best of 5 series. As always, guys, if you like the content, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Game number 3 will be coming out in just one moment. Thanks again, guys, and as always, keep watching and keep owning.